Welcome to 13.3, Estimating Decimal Quotients. Estimating decimal quotients will be easier than actually figuring out our decimal quotients. So this should be fairly simple because we're just going to be doing estimates. Okay, so now there's two different ways to estimate decimals, just like there's multiple ways to estimate whole numbers. We are going to be looking at these two ways, place value, so estimating using place value, and estimating using compatible numbers. All right, let's do the first column of problems that estimate using place value. All right, so we've got the first thing that we do always with decimals is move that decimal up to the quotient. First thing. All right, and keep everything nice and lined up. All right, so after we move the decimal point up, what we are going to do is we are going to divide only until we get to the very first non-zero digit, and then we're going to stop. We can add zeros in if we need to, but we can just stop with that first non-zero digit. So let's do this one. 4 goes into 2, 0 times. 4 goes into 23. Let's see, how many times does it go in there? 5 times, right? Because 5 times 4 is 20, but we don't even need to go on. We know that 5 times 4 is 20 and it goes into there. That's our first non-zero digit, so we can stop already. We're done. There's our answer, right? Our answer is 5. We don't really need this 0 anymore because it's providing no value and holding no spot. So the answer to that first problem, the estimate is 5. All right, let's move on to the next one. Let's get our decimal point up. All right, 8 goes into 3, 0 times. 8 goes into 31. How many times? Let's see, once, yes, twice, yes, 3 times, yes, 4 times, no. So 3 times, right? Because 3 times 8 is 24, so it's going to go in there. And we have our first non-zero digit, so we're done. 3/10. Pretty easy. All right, let's go to the next one. Decimal up. 6 goes into 0, 0 times. 6 goes into 3, 0 times. 6 goes into 31. Let's see, how many times will it go in there? 5 times, because 5 times 6 is 30. All right, we have our first non-zero digit. We can stop. 5/100. And that's it, folks. That's estimating decimals by using place value. Let's move over to column 2 and do estimating decimal quotients using compatible numbers. Now you remember the term compatible numbers from dealing with whole numbers and rounding. Compatible numbers means they kind of go together, okay? So the numbers 5 and 10 go together, right? The numbers, well, let's look at our first one here. We've got 4 going into 23 and 64/100. So first thing we do, let's get our decimal point up there. All right, now 4 goes into 2, 0 times. 4 into 23, that will work, right? 4 does go into 23, but we're going to find a compatible number with 4. 23 doesn't really work well with 4, right? 4 doesn't go evenly into 23. 4 would be compatible with 20, right? 5 times. 4 would be compatible with 24. Now let's use 24 because that's awfully close to 23. So let's just change this 23 to 24. Now we've got compatible numbers. 4 goes into 24, 6 times. And we have our first non-zero digit, so our answer is 6. Remember, we can get rid of that 0 because it really provides nothing. Okay, so our answer is 6. Now, look at this. Our estimate for the same problem using place value is 5. Using compatible numbers is 6, and that's fine. Those are both obviously very close. One estimate is 5 and one estimate is 6. All right, let's go down to the next one. Get the decimal point up. 8 goes into 3, 0 times. 8 goes into 31. Let's use compatible numbers. It does go into 31, but not evenly. So what is a compatible number that is close to 31, that's compatible with 8? All right, we've got 8, 16, 24, 32. Well, there we go. 32 is super close to 31. So let's change this Now 8 goes into 32, and you can get a 4. Okay, so 4/10. Again, using place value with this problem, we got 3/10. Using compatible numbers, we estimated and got 4/10. But remember, it's an estimate, so that's fine if we got 3/10 for one and 4/10 for another. Let's go down to the next one. Move the decimal point up. 6 goes into 0, 0 times. 6 goes into 3, 0 times. 6 goes into 31. It does, but not evenly. So what could we change that 31 to that would be compatible with 6? Let's change it to 30, right? That's very compatible with 6 because 5 goes into there evenly 30 times. So our answer is 5/100. Now look at this one. When we estimated with place value, we got 5/100. And when we estimated with compatible numbers, we got 5/100. Sometimes they both end up the same. All right, let's go over to the right and do this last biggie over here that looks kind of like it's looming over here and large and complicated, but it's not going to be because we're going to use compatible numbers to make it simpler. Let's bring up the decimal first and foremost. 39 is kind of an awkward number to be compatible with anything, so we're going to round that to 40. Okay, we can do that. That's close. Now it's got 158 over here, and we've got that 67 thousandths, but remember we're estimating. So what is compatible with 40 that's close to 158? What if we change this to 160, which is super close? But now 40 and 160 are super compatible, right? 40 doesn't go into the 1, and it doesn't go into the 6, but it does go into 160 4 times, evenly, right? And that's all we're going to do. We can erase any non-essential zeros like those two, and our answer is 4. Okay, so it's a lot easier than it looks when you break it down and estimate using place value or compatible numbers. All right, thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow.